Hey, this is Paul here. You're listening to the Lee and Z Show on ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com.
I'm Lee.
And I'm Z.
And you are listening to Episode 9 of the Lee and Z Show for this last half of September 2009. Show notes and links about subjects discussed on today's show will be up at leeandz.com. This show is available on our website as well as our blank bleh. No, I'm just kidding. They are the best sponsors in the entire universe. And they're at thatguywiththeglasses.com. And you can subscribe to us on iTunes so that you'll never miss an episode. We did it. We're at 9. Lucky 9.
Woo! 9 episodes. I know, right? It's been a few months now that we've been doing this little show of ours. And we just keep plugging along.
Plugging and chugging.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, 9 episodes. And that means double digits next time. 10, the big 10. Watch out.
We hyped this up in the last episode, but we want to hype it up again because 10 is just such a monumental number for us, because I wouldn't say that we didn't expect us to get this far, but it's just been a uphill battle because we've just had such busy schedules and such problems getting in the way, just health and acts of nature and flying cats. Just everything has just been trying to stop the Lee and Z Show. But I tell you what, episode 10, it's coming at the first part of October, and you don't want to miss it.
I think it's more schedules than anything else. It's like just trying to find a time that we can both sit for 45 minutes and talk to each other.
Yeah, like right now.
You'd be amazed.
I have this energy right now, but it's 7 in the morning. It is so too damn early for me.
I just keep telling Lee that he agreed to this, so he can't complain. He's not allowed. This is the time that we were able to do it, so I'm just going to keep going forward.
I made you get up this early, so it's my fault.
I was getting up this early anyways.
Oh, okay,
because I got to go to work, so...
Well, then I don't feel bad at all, then. Screw it. And just for all this going on today, I thought that we would, instead of talking about our updates, you know, the Still Gaming updates, the Little Miss Gamer updates, I thought we would spotlight some of the new talent on ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, on Channel Awesome, because we've had kind of an influx of new video content creators lately, and there's one guy in particular that I want to talk about and just prop this guy up as the best thing since sliced bagels. Not sliced bread, sliced bagels, because bagels kick ass. And this guy's name is Mike J. I forgot what his last name was. And he does a movie review show called Shameful Sequels. This guy just has such a unique, funny style of just deadpan British humor. He is so damn funny. He's reviewed several awesomely terrible movies, like Jaws 3, Starship Troopers 3, Home Alone 4. It's like some of these movies I've never even friggin' heard of. I didn't know they existed. And he's just made it so funny to watch these. And right now he's on a trial basis on That Guy with the Glasses, which means they're asking people, hey, do you want him on the site? It only took me 15 seconds before I thought, hey, this guy's a winner, all right? And he's already like right there in the top 3 of my favorite movie reviewers of all time. He's right up there with That Guy with the Glasses and Famous. He's getting up there already. And I am hoping to see this guy put out more and more stuff each and every week or two. He's just one of the greatest things I've seen on the site in the past few months.
Man, I'm just a sucker for the accent. I'll admit it. He started talking, I was like, oh, a British guy, you know? And but actually, I think he is funny. I think he did a nice job. I'll be interested to see some more of the stuff that he does, and if he ever does a sequel that he actually likes. I know that his whole thing is they're all supposed to be bad sequels, but you know, occasionally there's a good sequel out there. So I think he's doing a good job. I haven't watched as much of his stuff as Lee has. I only saw the Jaws 3 review, but yeah, I'm totally on that boat with him, thinking that never should have happened. And the whole 3D thing, oh my gosh, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Fans of Shameful Sequels, if you want to check out all the rest of his stuff, because even though That Guy with the Glasses has only 2 episodes up right now, he's done about 6 more reviews. If you go to blip.tv and search for Shameful Sequels, you'll see all the other episodes. Fantastic show. Root him on. Tell the mics, yes, we want Shameful Sequels. And my voice is going out.
Whatever. Yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens when Lee has to do stuff before 7 a.m. So anyway, I have some news. And, well, it's not really news, but I wanted to just comment on the fact that lately all these console prices have been dropping.
Oh, yeah. We've been in the middle of a bad economy, and I guess all the system makers have finally decided, maybe we kind of should drop the price of these consoles to make a little bit of money. So, Sony has decided to drop their PlayStation 3 to $299 and release a new version of it, the PS3 Slim, which looks pretty damn slick. And then the Nintendo Wii, after saying, no, we're not lowering the price. No, we're not lowering the price. Now it's $199. And the Xbox 360, they haven't really done any price drops. But they're still at an affordable $199, but nobody really wants that neutered arcade version. So let's say $249. We've got affordable consoles, finally.
Well, affordable if you saved your pennies. And, you know,
I've got a few pennies.
They're still expensive. They are still expensive, no matter how you look at it. Well, anything over $100 is like, you know, you're really investing in something.
I guess I'm thinking relative to how much they used to be. Like, the PlayStation 3 used to be $600, and like the guy that worked for Sony said, people would work a second job just to buy our system. Like, hell no.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I don't know that we would ever spend $600 for a console. But, you know, then again, we spend a lot of money on computers and video equipment and all other sorts of things. So, but I don't know. That's a lot. Somehow there's a line there, and they went over it. But we do have a Wii and an Xbox 360, and now that the PS3 has gone down in price, I'm actually interested in getting the PS3 Slim, because we would fit in our small New York City apartment a lot better than the larger version. So maybe this Christmas I can ask Santa for a PS3 Slim.
After how many years it took to get you that Super Nintendo?
Well, I know, but there was a whole plot by Dr. Wily behind that. We've cleared it up, and I think we're on the level now, me and Santa.
On the up and up, yeah.
Yeah, our relationship just keeps getting better and better.
Well, we want to know, people, listeners, awesome people out there, will you be buying a PlayStation 3, or have you bought a PlayStation 3 now that the price has dropped, now that they have a new model? Just send us an email to mailbag@leandz.com and have a little bit of a straw poll of sorts, and we'll mention it on next time's podcast.
That would be great. We're like totally punchy right now. It's awesome. All right. So Lee gave me some homework, and it's specifically for this next section. And Lee, I think you should talk about this.
Well, this is a show that most people don't know about, but they really should. In Japan, they have the most amazing retro video game show ever made, called Game Center CX. It's about this middle manager that's given a challenge to beat like really tough old video games for like the NES and Famicom and Super Nintendo. And the guy, it's so crazy just to watch him try and play through these games and just get so frustrated and so sad. But these games are legitimate challenges now. He's trying to beat games like Ghosts and Goblins and the real Super Mario Brothers 2, which is like a really, really hard game. And it's especially funny when the game gets so hard that he has like his assistant director come in and help him by like going on the whiteboard and actually outlining what exactly they're going to do. Like, okay, you're going to jump up against the wall and then bounce off the Koopa and then hit the coin block, and then you're going to drop down here. It's like they're putting out a plan of action. This show's been out for about 5 or 6 seasons in Japan. Somebody has been trying to bring it out in America as Retro Game Master for about a year. I have not heard back on this. What they did was that they subtitle it, but they dubbed the narrator, which I think is the perfect setup for this type of show. And we already have a small taste of the Retro Game Master because one of his games was brought out on the Nintendo DS. I think it was called Retro Game Challenge. Basically, you play as this small kid named Arino, which is basically a kid version of the middle manager, and you have to go through, I think, 3 or 4 different 8-bit style games, like a shooting game, I think a platformer, and then like a 10 to 15 hour RPG. And that one received a lot of great reviews. So, people, I need your help. I'm trying to find the guy or the representative that's trying to bring Retro Game Master to America, because this is a show that needs to come on over. They're trying to find a distributor. They've already dubbed it, the first season, dubbed and subtitled, and I need to find out where it is. I need to help these guys. This show's hot.
Well, all right. So here's my question: was this on TV or is this just internet only or like straight to DVD? Like what's the deal with it in Japan?
This show is on television in Japan. It's very popular. Been on for about 5 or 6 seasons, and they've been selling DVD box sets in Japan. But of course, those box sets are not subtitled. I could watch the show in raw Japanese. I don't know much Japanese, so a lot of the jokes would be lost on me. He just has kind of a I don't want to say this word. Okay, fine. He has kind of a cute aura around him when he's being pathetic. He's like, oh no, I lost. Oh, Sheena, he's so sad. But Dina and I have been watching whatever episodes we could find that have been fan subtitled. Now, we can't link to those because technically they're kind of not legal.
I'm sure if our listeners Googled Game Center CX, they'd be able to find.
They can be resourceful.
Something.
Yeah.
Yes. I trust our listeners. I know that they got stuff going on, but if they really wanted to find something, they could find it.
So what did you think of the show, Z?
Well, I thought it was kind of quirky. It's very, Japanese, obviously. He's Japanese. It's made in Japan. So their sense of humor is a bit different than ours, and it's quirky, and they're so polite. Even when they're frustrated, they're polite. And that, to me, is very interesting, So it's a totally different kind of sensibility. I liked the fact that they had different names for different things, like Power Up is a P. Oh, what was the other one that they were talking about? Oh, he kept dying. He was playing this, the one episode that I did watch, he was playing the Transformers game.
Convoy no Nazo, also reviewed by the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Oh, for the Famicom.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they were playing it on. And he kept saying how he was in Game Over Zone.
Game Over Hell.
Oh, that's what it was. Game Over Hell. And because he kept dying and dying and dying and dying. And I was like, Game Over Hell. That's a great term. I'm going to use that. So I like that. I think it's more your kind of a show than my kind of a show overall, but I think it's good. I'm not on the boat of, like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun.
There are some parts in episodes I didn't show you where not only does he play games, but he also goes to, like, different retro game stores or retro arcade places and plays all these cool games. And that's really nice to see.
Oh, that's
just
nice.
all of these nice places in Japan that people might not know about in little cities or little towns. And sometimes he also interviews people that were very popular, like Hideo Kojima, creator of the Metal Gear Solid series, and Yu Suzuki, who made a lot of the really awesome Sega games back in the day. I do love the show. I know it might not be the cup of tea, as Mike would say, for several people, but I think a lot of the retro gamers on this site would really want to check this thing out.
Oh, totally. I completely agree. It's just not totally my thing, but it's totally your thing, and it's totally probably a lot of other people's thing. And I had fun watching it. It's not to say that I didn't. I just probably wouldn't get the DVD box set, but I know that you would.
I'd get 5 and give him away as prizes.
See, there you go. See, and that's why we're different. But I did enjoy watching it, and I thought it was really fun, and it was nice to see somebody having such trouble with the game, like honestly having difficulty playing it, and then see somebody else come in and just kind of go, yeah, this is how you do it, just easily, So that was fun to see somebody just that kind of frustration, because I feel that sometimes when I'm playing a game, it's like, come on, why isn't this straightforward? Why can't I figure this out?
Yep, a fantastic show. But now it's time to move on from that, because we have the most dangerous thing in the entire universe. It is just gonna explode.
Oh no.
Are you ready? It is the
Turbo Top 3!
Oh my god. All right, well, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I heard a rumbling in New York. I don't know what's going on there. I guess whatever I said was really that powerful.
It must be. I don't know. I have no control over this space.
I know. It's probably just the subway.
Probably.
Okay, here's the simple rules for peeps. I'm going to ask C a question to name her top 3 of something. She has 33 seconds to answer. Then she is going to ask me a question, top 3s, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? C, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Name your top 3 movie sequels.
Well, isn't that... okay. I guess, does The Two Towers count as a sequel or no, because it's like a trilogy?
Yes, that counts.
Okay. So that's 1. Toy Story 2.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I'm thinking. I'm being very quiet when I think right now. It's hard. I can't think of anything because they're usually bad, so it's really hard to remember ones that are good.
Alex Trebek would be pissed right now.
Why? Was he in something and I'm not remembering? Oh, no, because
No.
I'm totally going over my limit. I was like, he's not in movies. And then I was like, well, he is sometimes, but it's always weird. I know. I'm sorry I'm over. This is a hard question. I lose this time. It's okay. I can lose sometimes. It's all right.
See, we're sorry. An acceptable answer would have been Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
See, I haven't seen that one. I only saw
Really?
Pet Detective, yeah.
Oh, well, the second one's got bad reviews everywhere, but I still love that movie. It is so retarded, but it is so funny.
Well, here's the thing. The reason that that's such a hard question is that I don't really watch sequels that much because usually they're bad, and usually it's not the same cast.
Yeah, I just
You
had to
know.
follow up because earlier you said that there are some sequels out there, and we have
There
found
are.
out that the number is approximately 2. There are 2 sequels.
No, there's more. Oh God, I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head that...
There's always Ghostbusters 2, where they control
Oh,
the
yeah.
Statue of Liberty
All right,
with an
all right.
NES Advantage controller.
All right. Ghostbusters 2. That's a good one.
All right. We'll let you get away with it that time.
Can I use the excuse that I'm sitting in a room that has, like, it's full of books and I don't have my DVD stuff in front of me to even, like, be able to cheat and look and see what movies we own? Can I just
Yes.
use that as an excuse?
Fine. That's your only lifeline, though. On the next episode, we may have to cut off a limb.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. As long as it's not my right hand, I'll be okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. So are you ready?
I don't know. That's really kind of just got me down, but
Oh, come
I think
on.
I can do better than that pathetic display.
Oh, I'm just fighting words. All right.
Mhm.
Your 3 favorite sandwiches. Go.
Oh my God. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Peanut butter and grape jam sandwiches, rather. Bologna and cheese sandwich, and then tuna sandwich. Bam. Easy as pie.
Yeah. That was a pretty easy question. I was being
Yeah.
nice to you. Nice. See how I did that? Niceness.
I've tried to get rid of peanut butter and jelly lately because the jam has had some stuff in it that I don't like. I have managed to finally find some sugar-free jam, but what I actually want is I want sugar-full jam, just without high fructose corn syrup, and that's a little bit hard to find for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's either sugar-free or it's corn syrupy full.
Or you could make your own. Not to be crazy or anything, but you could. You could buy some fruit and make some jam. Just saying.
That's a thought.
You basically just cook it down and add some stuff to it, like some sugar, and it depends if you're making jelly or jam, but you could do that if you wanted to be all homey and stuff.
There's that word again.
Homey? Did I already say homey earlier today?
No, it's just I remember that you said one time, it's like, I've got a pile of dead homies, anybody want some? And everybody's out of New York's like, what are you talking about? And I finally found out that you were talking about these little miniature toys that you had.
They weren't dead. They're just, like, ready to leave. We had a lot of them, so...
Oh yeah, she's got like hundreds of them. It's amazing.
Well, we just had copies, and sometimes you have to make choices. When you have 2 of something, sometimes you have to give one away, which reminds me that we have a contest going on.
Yeah, we sure do. We have a haiku contest. And we've got several entries so far. We haven't bothered to check to make sure that they are correct.
It makes us sound like jerks. We haven't bothered to take a look at them. We have looked at them. But...
I've read all of them. But I didn't really make sure that each of them were 575.
Right.
Or if there's any other weird, freaky, deaky rule that I didn't know about.
You have
like
to
it
meet
has to
the
have.
haiku criteria.
Some people have asked, can we submit more than one? Yes, you can submit more than one. Just kind of curb it at about 3, because some people have kind of gone overboard and submitted like 7 or 10.
They're excited. They're zealous.
I know, we don't want to read them all day, so just write a whole bunch of them if you want. Just read the ones you think are best, and then send those to us. Don't send us, like, the crappiest of the crap. No, but no, every haiku has been really good. You're all winners.
All right, let's not lie. But let's say that, yes, let's cap it at 3 entries per person. I think that's fair. And, like Lee said, look over what you've written and then give us what you think is your best, your top 3. Oh.
And while we have that... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, why, Lee? I was just going to remind them that the prize for this is 2 comic books from my comic book collection that I happen to have doubles of. One is the first comic in the series 4 Women, and the other is the first comic in the series 0 Girl.
And you will also win Snow for Lucy on DVD, my favorite animated movie of the past year.
Man, that's a lot of prizes for a haiku.
Hey, it's worth it. That haiku is awesome. Plus, I have a few more copies of Snow for Lucy. It's cool. And we have a non-contest going on for me. I want fan art because I'm a fan art whore. So, but last time last time we had a contest for people that could draw, but this time it's not a contest. There's no prizes involved. I just like fan art. We're going to put up like a photo bucket gallery somewhere on leeandz.com, and if somebody wants to draw some weird stuff of like Lee and Z or just Lee or whatever, I mean, all is welcome. I don't know. I like that stuff. I used to go to DeviantArt all the time and look at really nice art, and I figured, hey, I bet I would look pretty nice as a cheapy, super deformed guy with like a sword.
Well, everybody wants to be a chibi, super deformed dude or dudette with a sword, so... Can't blame you. But, all right. So Lee wants fan art. Everybody hear that?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
I sure do. You've been asking for Game Boy suggestions, have you not?
I have, Game Boy or DS, since I can play both now.
Well, we actually have a suggestion for Game Boy Advance from Reifu TD. He recommends Shantae. It's a Capcom girl genie platformer, and she has like a hair attack. She looks like she's going to pounce like a cat sometimes. She dances to do different magic abilities. The game looks really slick, and it's out on, I'm sorry, not Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I do think that game looks really nice. It's gotten some glowing reviews from people. I can't recommend it enough. And aside from that, I've noticed that your Game Boy Advance and Game Boy library is quite small.
Well, I just started. You gotta work your way up.
Well, I'm going to help out with that.
What?
Because I have a few old games that I don't need anymore, and they want to find a new home.
Wow. All right, just so the listeners know, I didn't know anything about this. This is an unplanned segment. Well, that's very nice of you. I mean, if you're sure, I can also just like hold on to them or borrow them a little bit, and then if you want them back, I can get them back. I don't know. Really? You don't want them anymore? I'm always so sad when I get rid of games.
It will not be necessary because these games, I think they're quite up your alley. The first one is definitely up your alley. It's for the Nintendo Game Boy. It is called The Rescue of Princess Blobette.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Which is from A Boy and His Blob series.
Oh, awesome. You know how much I love that. Mm-hmm.
We have 4 Game Boy Advance games. Hey. We have Metroid Fusion. We have Namco Museum, which has a lot of classic games like Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Galaga, Pole Position. We have Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which is like a Mario RPG. And no Game Boy Advance collection would be complete without a Zelda game. So you have The Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap.
Ooh. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Lee.
And you can win all this if the price is right. Actually, you won all of these.
Well, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Wow. Well, now I gotta get cracking at playing some of those games. Actually, a couple of those were suggested to me in emails as games that I definitely needed to check out. So I'm really excited to take a look at them. That's going to be great. Thank you so much.
This will help you get started on all those awesome suggestions.
Thanks.
And let's move on because we have our favorite segment in the entire universe. We have our viewer mail.
Yay!
Yeah! And I guess the first question is going to be for me this time because I usually like to ask you first, but this time I want to answer a question because I got a quick answer. Lee, I have a 1988 Ryne Sandberg Chicago Cubs All-Star card, baseball card. It is autographed, but the SIG has faded a bit. signature. How much do you think it's worth? Should I trade it for a sandwich? You might have to throw in a little bit of money to get that sandwich. Let's just say that. These days, autographs aren't worth much of anything if you got them yourself, because new baseball cards these days, they actually contract the players to sign them so you know it's authentic. Now, these days, you could have like a card signed, especially from 1988, they're like, well, that's not authentic. Bah, 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 bah. I looked on eBay, and you might get a grand total of 85 cents for that card. So,
Oh my gosh.
there you go. An autograph from a legendary player like Ryne Sandberg ain't worth poop.
Wow. Seriously, that's amazing. Amazing.
That's just the tale of the time. And people, if you haven't watched my 40-minute rant on baseball cards, head on over to That Guy with the Glasses. Check out my still playing of a VHS tape, and you will see just a little bit of anger, a little bit of rage. Just a little bit. It's not for people like Z to listen to.
No,
really.
whatever. I can take it.
I don't
just
know.
because little Miss Gamer is nice doesn't mean that she can't watch things, you know?
But I got a phone call from my mother about this one.
Oh, well.
She wasn't too happy about that one. She said, "Lie!"
Oh, no. Oh, no. That sounds bad.
Well, during still playing, I like to make up words, and sometimes they just come out, and people start using them as catchphrases.
Oh, no.
But let's move on from that before she calls me again. Richard has a question for Z. He writes, well, first he has a statement and then kind of a question. I was having serious flashbacks when Z was talking about Belle and Sebastian. I used to watch that show all the time. Tell me, Z, do you remember other classic 80s shows from Nickelodeon? Do you remember Today's Special, The Adventures of the Little Koala, or David the Gnome?
Well, yeah, of course I remember those, especially Today's Special because it had puppets in it. And my friend Nikki Tilrow used to play the mime in that show. I have about 5 VHS tapes of Today's Special that I got a couple years ago off of eBay because as far as I know, that's the only way you can get copies of that show. Also, a woman named Noreen Young, I believe, helped build some of the puppets for that show as well. The Adventures of the Little Koala, I always get that one in my mind mixed up with the Noozles, but I liked both of those shows. And of course, David the Gnome, he was awesome. The whole Nick lineup from the time of like 1979, 1980 until I'd say maybe about 1993, 94. Those were my years when I really watched Nickelodeon and I knew everything that was on that channel. I loved the Saturday Night Nick series when they started doing that, and they had Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, I could go on and on about Nickelodeon. In fact, when I was younger, I used to think it was one of my dreams to work for Nickelodeon. I was really gung-ho about trying to get a job with them because I was just like, yes, a network for kids. That's totally what I want to do. I'm a kid. And one of my other dreams was to go to Universal Studios and visit Nickelodeon Studios, because at the end of every episode, they always say, filmed at Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida. And then they'd show the big slime geyser, and everyone would be like, yeah! But, you know, times have changed. Nickelodeon's kind of taken on a different route. In fact, I haven't watched it in a while because we haven't had cable in a couple of years. And then when I was down at Universal Studios a couple of years ago, Nickelodeon Studios is pretty non-existent. They really weren't shooting stuff there anymore. The slime geyser was still going off, but other than that, it was kind of dead, which is a little sad, but, you know, times change. Who knows? Maybe I'll still get a job working for Nickelodeon someday.
I guess nobody told you the news. Nickelodeon Studios closed down last year.
Oh, there you go. See, I knew they were on their way to being closed down, because when I was there last time, there was really not much there at all.
I missed out on the great years of Nickelodeon from the 80s. I didn't even know about the existence of the channel until about 1990. The shows I liked the most were Nick Arcade, Wild and Crazy Kids, Guts, and all those shows on Snick like Alone in the Dark and things like that. Now, Alone in the Dark wasn't ever scary or anything like that.
It's not Alone in the Dark. It's Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, so I'm confusing it with the game Alone in the Dark. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, and nothing made me afraid about it. But it was still a fun show. I even liked the Saturday Night Live like knockoff for kids called All That, especially the first season with like Keenan, Kel, and all those other characters. And the Ross Perot character is like the best Ross Perot impression ever, and it was by like a little 7-year-old girl.
Actually, I was a huge fan of Roundhouse. So if anybody out there remembers Roundhouse, that's one. Every once in a while I remember a show and I think, oh, I haven't Googled that in a while. I wonder if there's video clips up. So probably when we're done recording this later today, I'm going to Google Roundhouse and see if I can find some stuff.
I believe the Nostalgia Critic covered that, but he had a less than favorable opinion of it.
Oh, whatever. We can disagree. I really liked the show. I especially liked the fact that the principal, when he was on the loudspeaker, he had a big box on his head, and it was as if he was like the actual loudspeaker. But anyway, so yes, Nickelodeon, awesome.
Well, used to be awesome.
I don't know. They might. I honestly haven't watched the channel in a couple years. So
I think Nickelodeon really dropped off a long time ago. Their last great show was Invader Zim. I don't follow them anymore ever.
Oh well, if we had cable, I might check them out, but I don't know what they're up to. But if they had more puppet shows on there, then maybe I would work for them somehow.
Somehow I just see Z working on Nickelodeon as like a match made in heaven, but only if like Nickelodeon was like still back in their 1990s phase, early 1990s, because that would have been like a perfect fit.
I never know. They could like go retro and stuff. They have a channel called Games and Sports that has a lot of the shows that you were saying that you really enjoyed, The Wild and Crazy Kids
right.
and Finders Keepers.
Gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that has all those old shows. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Come on, who doesn't love Olmec?
Oh, yeah. Orange iguanas.
Everyone has a different one. I was a Silver Snake girl myself. Chad likes
green
the
monkeys.
green monkeys. Chad likes the green monkeys. So I think that's it, as those are all the things we were going to talk about today. And then you'll have to stay tuned for a very special episode 10 of the Lee and Z Show.
See, now you got me doing it on a very special episode.
See, when
Lee
we
and
started
Z.
these podcasts, you didn't even know what that meant.
I'm definitely familiar with it. I just kind of brain farted because they don't really do that anymore as far as I know.
It's true, they don't, but they used to. And that was when it was great. So, anywho, I guess that's it. If anybody has any questions, they can send them off to mailbag@leeandz.com. And as you can see, we always answer a couple of different viewer mail questions every episode. And send those haikus to us and let us know how you're doing out there.
And fan art.
And fan art for Lee. All right, that's it. All right, everybody. We'll see you later. This is Z.
And Lee.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
I'm going back to bed. Bye.